Hello good people, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, if you're returning, welcome back. I appreciate you so much. Today I'm going to be doing something a little new. I've done like reaction to highlights in the past, and as you may know, I'm still becoming familiar with the NFL when it comes to how plays work, how certain routes look, things of that nature. So it's a work in progress here, but I've been watching the NFL all season. I've been loving what I've been seeing, and I wanted to give my takes for the wild card round of the playoffs this year. So that's what we're gonna do. There's a lot of teams that are playing this year that I'm just like so excited to see. It's a lot of new blood in the playoffs this year in comparison to what we've been seeing the last few years. And I'm kind of sad because there's some teams that I know that are probably going to be eliminated in the first round that I really want to see them make a long run. There's also teams that didn't make it that I wanted to see make it, i.e. the Detroit Lions. They are just so much fun to watch. They have so many weapons on offense and defense, and I was just sad to see them not make the playoffs. Like, they're not my team. I just enjoy watching them. And yeah, hopefully they figure it out next season. I know they just fired their OC, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, I'm sure they'll be wanting to figure that out and come back strong next season, because I feel like their window is still very much open. Like, these last few years, I've been like, if we don't go, when I say we, I mean the Eagles. I'm like, if we don't go, then they gonna go. I thought we were gonna see them in the NFC Championship last year, but we know what happened with that. But anywho, let's get into the playoff matchups. So I'm gonna start off with the AFC. I'm gonna be honest, I do watch AFC games, but I feel like I don't watch them as much as I do NFC games, and that's because both of the teams that I root for are in the NFC. So I tend to watch those matchups more, but there are teams in the AFC that I do enjoy watching. First matchup, hold on, I gotta make sure I'm doing it right. So yeah, Jags and Bills. I will say that I feel like Jags have been more of an uptick when it comes to their production, how they play, who they play, varying the kind of plays that they do. You know, ETN is like a workhorse for them. I'm happy to see them like doing well. And I'm also happy for Trevor as well, because it's been a while for him. I think he's gotten to the wild card point, but hasn't been able to go deep into the playoffs. So the way this team looks this year, they look like they're gonna have more of a promising run, in my opinion. I mean, 13-4, that's a really good record to have. And I'm gonna just go through who they played this season just to get an idea of like their level of competition. Like, who they played, it's not to take away from like how good they are. I just wanna like look through right quick. Beat the Panthers, which is a playoff team. Beat the Niners, playoff team. Beat the Chiefs. Seahawks beat them. Rams beat them. Beat the Raiders. Beat the Titans. And they got the Bills. So what I will say about this team is they beat who they were supposed to beat. When you are a team that is wanting to go into the postseason and you're wanting to create a winning culture, you beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. And for the most part, they did. They beat all of the under 500 teams. You know, that's what you're supposed to do. If you're a quote-unquote good team, you're supposed to beat the bad teams. They did lose to the Rams. Great team. That's a team that's like, you're gonna have to try to figure it out. The only thing about that win that I don't like is the gap in the score. Rams they basically blew them out. Seahawks, they only lost to them by one possession, so I'm not gonna be too hard on them because, again, Seahawks are a good team. So that's a team that you're gonna probably be close in scoring with. I say overall they had a decent season. I would like to see them go further in the playoffs in the postseason just to see how Trevor can come into his own. And so I do want to see him make more of a run, because who doesn't love an underdog story, you know? But the thing is they're playing the Bills first round, which they've had some interesting battles this year, but I'm sure they're hungry to go to the bowl. They have Josh Allen, who's in his prime, and they don't have to worry about the Chiefs this year. They don't have to worry about the Bengals this year. They don't have to worry about the Ravens this year. These are all teams that usually in the postseason Josh Allen has to meet. Last year they beat the Ravens, so it's not like it wasn't feasible. But it always seemed to be a thing of like he gets to the Chiefs and then loses somehow. So I know that they're going to be super hungry, especially the people that are like on that team, that's been on that team for years. They're going to be super hungry. So I want for the Jags to win this game, and they will be at home, so that's an advantage. But I'm not going to count the Bills out. The Jags have been on a great run. Bills are 12-5, so they right by them when it comes to like games. I'm gonna look at who they played this season. Beat the Patriots, beat the Browns, lost to the Eagles, beat the Jets. Again, for the most part, they beat the teams that they should have. They had a few losses, one to a division rival, one to the Eagles. Texans are good this year, but they only lost to them by one possession. So it's not like they got blown out. Yeah, I want this for the Jags just because I want to see Trevor and his team make a deep run. But let me look at the Bills wide receivers, because I know they have Keon, but I want to see who else they have. I'm just trying to like do the matchups in my brain. Dawson Kincaid, James Cook, Khalil Shakir. Dang, I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of tough because I feel like the weapons that the Bills have are a little more effective than the weapons that the Jags have. Yes, they have ETN, who's really good, Jacoby Myers, Josh Hines, Allen, but I don't think I would give them the edge over the Bills. I want it for the Jags, but if I'm looking like at these teams on paper, I feel like the Bills would be the stronger team. But Jags been winning. They've been winning their ass off. So I'm going to say Jags. I'm going to say Jags. But I just know it's probably going to be a close game. So yeah, best of luck to both of those teams. 3-6 matchup is Chargers, Patriots. They've been dogs all season. All season. They've been killing shit. This is a matchup that I'm sad about because there's good players on both teams. I've been watching the Pats this season, and I've been watching the Chargers this season. Earlier this season, I went to the Chargers-Eagles game, and they beat my Eagles. By a field goal, but they beat us. And they're just a great team to watch. Their defense, nasty. But their offense is also nasty. They have a lot of weapons on offense and a lot of young weapons on offense. So I feel like the Chargers are going to be a problem. Chargers are going to be a problem for years to come, I believe. Definitely going to be wrecking shit in the AFC West for a long time. This is a hard one for me. I don't want to discount Drake May just because he's young and be like, oh, he's not used to playoff runs, blah, blah, blah. First year in the playoffs. I don't really want to discount him like that because I feel like he has what it takes to make a substantial run in the playoffs. So I don't want to use that as my excuse. I think that both teams are going to have to be very disciplined because I feel like they match up pretty well. And I know they got like Ramondre, they got Booty, Hunter Henry, DeMario. They have good defense too. So I feel like this team matches up very well. I feel like this is going to be a close game. I have been liking what I've seen from the Chargers this season. I feel like they ran into a little adversity in the middle of the season and they figured it out and kind of went on a trajectory similar to the Jags, where they kind of had an uptick towards the end of the season. They kind of started to peak, if that makes sense. So this is another tough matchup. This is so tough because both teams are really good. I do want to see Chargers do it. They just been badass on both sides of the ball. Justin's been badass, even while he's been hurt. So I want to see it for the Chargers. Personally, I want to see it for the Chargers. But against the Pats, and they're gonna be, are they gonna be at the Pats' house? I think they're gonna be at the Pats' house. Ooh, this is a tough one. Wait, let me look at their records. Pats are 14-3. The Chargers are 11-6. I might have to get it to the Pats just because their record. I know everybody been saying they beat below 500 teams. They've been on a roll. I can't lie. That's a tough one. Who I want to win is the Chargers. They've just been a great team on both sides of the ball. I will say I feel like Drake May, in tough moments, he's very measured. Doesn't make too many mistakes. I'm gonna stick with Chargers. That's who I want to win. I'm gonna stick with Chargers. I think either team can win, but who I want to win is the Chargers. I just know Pat's gonna give them a run for their money, and they at home. So I feel like this is a prediction I might be eating my words after the fact, but we shall see this weekend. The last matchup in the AFC is the Steelers, which is the 4 seed, and the Texans, which are the 5 seed. This is another one where you kind of want to see Texans go farther. They've kind of been that team that gets to the wild card or gets to the divisional round and then they don't go any further. So it's like you want to see if they can get over that hump. Steelers, they're literally the epitome of a wild card team because they can just fuck everybody's life up. They can fuck your life up because you come in and you're looking at their record. You're gonna underestimate them. You're gonna be like, we can beat them. This should be an easy win for us. They're not gonna make it easy for you. They're a team that's gonna fight tooth and nail to beat you. It's weird because in some games they've looked formidable, and in some games this season they've looked kind of like, what's going on with them? So I'm not gonna say I'm gonna give them the edge. Yes, they'll be at home, but I do think that Texans have the defense and they become better discipline-wise. And I feel like they have what it takes to finish. I'm gonna just look at matchups right quick. I know Steelers got Metcalf, Warren, Gainwell, Thielen. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like Thielen, so I would like to see him have a nice little last hurrah in his final season. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think this might be his last year. And then they also got Calvin Austin III. So they have some good weapons on offense. Texans got Nick Chubb, Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz. I know that the Texans their defense can keep them in the game long enough to allow for something good to happen. But I will say I feel like Steelers have more weapons. Steelers got some strong ass wide receivers. What's that guy's name? Washington, I think. Strong as hell. I didn't notice him in the game when they played the Ravens, so I was like, wait, is he hurt? But he's not hurt. I guess they just didn't really want to target him like that. I want this for the Texans, but I feel like on paper, Steelers is the stronger team. Texans defense, I feel like has just been like the rock of their team right now. I feel like that's what's going to keep them in this game versus the Steelers. This is another matchup where I want it for one team, but looking at it like from a logical perspective, it's like, they have a strong chance of winning this. I'm going against the grain. I'm going with my heart. I know I should like be going off of like what I'm seeing with the matchups, but I just really want this for Texas. I want this for Houston, for CJ, D'Amico. So that's all I'm saying. But again, Steelers, they have a vet, like an amazing vet in Aaron Rodgers. This might be his last season. We don't know. And they have a lot of weapons. So I'm not going to say I'm counting them out and they're not going to win. They definitely have a great chance to win. I just want it for the Texans. So, all right, y'all. Time to get into my favorite parts. The nitty gritty, the NFC. NFC 1 seed is the Seahawks. 2 seed is the Chicago Bears. And they have, in my opinion, they probably have the easiest matchup out of the 3. Packers have a lot of injuries. If I'm not mistaken, one of their main players on defense is hurt. I feel like they should win this. That's all I'm saying. They don't really have any excuse. They have a lot of weapons. Swift, Monungai, Colston Loveland. I'm forgetting somebody. Odunze, DJ Moore. Yeah, they have a lot. So I feel like Bears should easily take this. I'm not trying to down the Packers or anything like that because Jordan Love is a great player. You got Christian and Romeo, but I just feel like Bears are the stronger team. So I'm going with the Bears on this one. And the Bears going to be at home field advantage. So yeah, not going to say too much on that. I do think it's going to be a good game just because that's a division rival game as well as a wild card game. Next matchup is 3-6. This one, y'all, I'm gonna be honest, it kind of gives me little pitter patters in my stomach because my Eagles, it's been an interesting season. You know, before we started the year, I predicted we would go 12-5. Last year we went 13-4. And before the season started this year, I looked at our matchups, you know, went down the list, and I'm like, okay, we can probably get 12 wins out of this. Almost got a few close ones, but ended up losing them. So I feel like if we were on point, we probably would have had 13 this year. But unfortunately, we ended with 11. Offense has left a lot to be desired all season. It's just been kind of like a weird thing of defense keeps us in the game, and then our offense does just enough to win the game. Whereas in past years, we've been running the table, like blowouts, beatdowns, convincing wins, dominating wins. It's just like there's no denying, you know what I mean, our pedigree. Last year, I was super confident. Like before the season even ended, I was confident we were going to the Super Bowl because of how strong we played, how great we played together. You know, we lost Kellen Moore, we lost our OC. It is what it is. You know, good OCs get hired. It happens. And it's just been kind of like a weird year for us. You know, I would love to see us get back to the big game. However, if I'm being realistic, you know, I feel like we'll probably get to the divisional round. I feel like we'll get to the divisional round. And if we do, I will take this season as a win because I feel like with who we lost, staff-wise, personnel-wise, team-wise, we also had injuries throughout the season. So I will take us getting to the division round as a win because that means our window is still there. We still have an open window with who we have on offense and defense. I just feel like we need to fine-tune some things if we were to make like another strong run at another ring. So with that being said, I feel like 49ers, that's going to be a hell of a game. That's going to be a hell of a game. Because yes, they've been hurt, they've been riddled with injuries, but they also been wrecking shit. That's gonna be a tough game. That's not a team that's gonna give you they're not gonna give you an easy game at all. Yes, they are the 6th seed, but I think they have like 13 wins, 12 wins. Yeah, we're going to lock the fuck in for that game. I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous for this game. I'm a little nervous, but we do have what it takes to beat them. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh my God, it's over, what are we gonna do? Like, we have what it takes to beat them. It's just, are we gonna be firing on all cylinders when the time comes? I'm gonna go with my team. I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I want us to win it, but I know how strong the 49ers are. They're just a strong-willed team as a whole. You know, from the coaches, the OC, the DC, the QB, the backup QB, because even while Purdy was hurt and Mac Jones was doing the same, Fred Warner out, they still beating people. We will be at home. We just got to take advantage of the atmosphere, fire on all cylinders, like I said, and hopefully we come out with a great plan offensively for the Niners. It's not our first time playing them, so we should have some kind of film on them from past seasons. Last but not least is the 4 and 5 seed. That is the Carolina Panthers and the Los Angeles Rams. I'm gonna be honest, Carolina is another team that's like seemingly been rounded into form, been coming into their own, figuring out their culture. They didn't go 500, but they got close, and they ended up winning the NFC South. And they're a team that, you know, you can be happy for. They're like an underdog. You know, they're figuring out their culture, I feel like. It seems like they're still figuring out their identity and what kind of a team they want to be, but they're starting to put it together. They're not a team that I'm going to sit here and cap and bow and be like, they about to make a long run into the playoffs. So while I am happy for them and the success they've had, the fact that they're back in the playoffs after almost a decade, I love that for them. However, Rams, that's another team that's been scary as hell this season. Scary. I want no parts. Honestly, when the playoffs started, I was like, bruh, I hope we play the Packers. I don't want to see the Rams. I don't want to see the Niners in the first round. Like, please. You know, we got the luck of the draw. We got the Niners the first round. But Rams were another team where I was just like, please, I don't want to play the first round because they always play us close. Matt Stafford is a badass. Sean McVay is a fucking genius. The weapons they have on offense and defense with the Rams. If they're not a team you want to see in the postseason, just saying. I will give the Rams this one. I know they're not going to be at home. I know it's going to be an away game, but LA fans are everywhere. LA fans are everywhere. Panthers fans, like I said, first time back. So I know they're going to come out strong. They're going to come out and support their team. No doubt about that. But you're going to hear them Rams in that audience as well. They're going to be loud and clear. And Matt just has, you know, pedigree. He has a ring. He's a veteran. He has so many weapons. Running backs and wide receivers and tight ends. I'm not trying to down the Panthers, but I just feel like they still need to ramp up their personnel. They need to ramp up on the weapons that they have on offense in order to beat the Rams in the playoffs. I know they beat them in the regular season. I know. Playoffs is a different beast. People come out and they play harder in the playoffs. You have something more to fight for. So just looking at them on paper, I would have to give the Rams the edge. So those are my picks. Rams, Eagles, Bears, Texans, Chargers. Texans, Chargers, Jags. I mean, I hope I'm right with these picks. I want to be right with these picks, but we shall see. It's always a great time just, watching these games, especially when we get to the postseason, it's just way more intense, way more closely played. So I'm very excited to see how things play out this weekend. I will be back. I'm going to do a video after Wildcard weekend, because then the 1 seeds into the chat, they enter the picture. So we gotta redo our predictions. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, this is what I got so far. If you agree, let me know in the chat. If you disagree, let me know in the chat, or the comments, I should say. Happy Wildcard weekend. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.